Welcome everybody to our workshop today with S. Marie Young. And this is it's going to be a fun workshop. It's a little different than our standard workshops in that you were asked before the workshop began to complete a survey. So hopefully most of you got access to that survey and were able, I'm sorry, not survey, self-assessment, a self-assessment. So hopefully you were able to do that beforehand, but if not, I'm sure S. Marie has something that we can do in that case. Is that right, S. Marie?
Well, they can do it afterwards and send it to me afterwards. They'll still learn a lot about and maybe identify the one that they most are closest to during the program.
Sure. Okay, good. So don't leave if you haven't done that workshop or the self-assessment. There's
yes, you could always do it after and send it to me. I'm happy to receive them anytime.
Wonderful. Okay, thank you so much. So like I said, I do want everybody that's here who is a student founder, I do want you sharing also the links to your startups, to your apps, to your websites. I really want to encourage that moving forward. Let's lean on each other. And while S. Marie is doing the workshop, just remind everybody, please do keep your videos and your microphones off unless we're talking, unless there's an interactive portion, and we'll just let you know, just to reduce that bandwidth. And if you do have a question, you just want to put it in the chat, you can do that too. Stephen is here monitoring the chat. And I think that's it for housekeeping. Was there anything else we needed to cover?
There's going to be a survey placed at the end of the workshop. We'll give a reminder at the end of the workshop again, just so we can get feedback for S. Marie, for the reg, so we can continue doing these awesome workshops for everybody. And as for questions, please put it in chat. We'll save some time at the end so S. Marie can get through her presentation, and hopefully some of the answers can be, some of the questions can be answered along the way. But if not, please save those questions and remember the context for those questions so you can ask them at the end.
Yes. Oh, and the one thing, Stephen, also I wanted to mention, I know we spoke about this before, I did want to give a shout out to all of our amazing partners, all of the mentors and advisors who've been helping us here at the Rec Innovation Lab. We do have coming up this next week, one of our partners is doing a pitch competition just for the Rec. It's Logic Boost Labs with a $5,000 prize that they've donated to our students. And so thank you to them. Thank you to S. Marie and all of the people who make it possible for us to do what we do. That said, S. Marie, welcome. And the floor is yours.
All right. Thank you so much. I'm really happy to be here and have the participation from everyone. I'm going to share my screen if you'll give me just a moment.
Sure. And I don't think I forgot to mention too, S. Marie is one of the mentors here at the Rec Innovation Lab. And we're so lucky to have her here helping all of our startup founders with their businesses and developing themselves as leaders. All right, we can see your screen now.
Great. Well, I'm really happy to be part of your mentorship program, and it was wonderful seeing all your slides. Presentation, the new videos, those are awesome. Have you ever been in a situation or at an event with someone and then you talk to them about it afterwards and they have a complete different perspective than you did, and you're wondering if you were even at the same place at the same time? Well, there's a reason for that, and we're going to unlock some of that mystery today. It has to do with what you pay attention to and your underlying operating system. So let's see there. Now, the Enneagram is one of the leading ways to get to know yourself. And self-awareness is a huge part of emotional intelligence. And emotional intelligence is quickly becoming the leading indicator of success, even much more than IQ. And emotional intelligence is comprised of two factors: intrapersonal competence, managing oneself, having self-awareness, and then the ability to interact and understand others and where they come from. And it has a lot to do with leadership. I've been studying the Enneagram for over 25 years, and I thought you'd want to know a little bit about me and where I come from, which is a very entrepreneurial background. So these are a few of my companies. Founded the first one at 23 when I became a real estate broker. And as you can see at the end now, I'm back to my name, a little different name. Now you know what the S stands for, Sally. And in 2008, when the market changed in real estate and we went into a really severe depression, I found it was time to do something else. So I went into coaching. And these are a few of my clients and what they say about coaching with me. And my most proud accomplishment is my brand new book, 11 years in the making, that just came out this week. And Michael, one of my favorite people, and his advance praise. So that's a little bit about who. Thank you. Thank you.
I'm so happy. I'm putting that in my list of books that we recommend for the entrepreneurs to read. I actually was just about to submit an article on this. That's going right in there. I'm so proud. That's wonderful. Happy about you finished it.
Oh, good. Thank you, Tanya. Tanya, it is thrilling, I'll tell you. Especially working on it for so long and having it come out into the world. So we're going to go at a fast clip because we're just going to touch the surface of the Enneagram. It's a very deep system, but I always start out with just asking you to notice your breath. And just then notice what happens when you put your attention on your breath. You don't even have to consciously change it. At least for me, when my attention goes there, my breath all of a sudden gets a little deeper and into the rest of my body. And this helps us become self-aware and present in the moment. So today we're going to be talking about personality integration and the 3 centers of intelligence, which I'll explain to you what those are. And there's ways that we productively use each center and ways that we misuse them. So the Enneagram is a roadmap that shows us how we are present in the world and how we express our gifts, and also how we overuse our gifts and they become liabilities. And this has to do with being able to have access to all 3 centers of intelligence: mind, body, and heart. And that way we express our full potential. So this is the Enneagram symbol, and as you can see, there's 9 different types. And these represent 9 ways of thinking, feeling, and acting in the world. So why is this important? 1, your leadership style shows you the innate gifts that you bring to the table, that where you shine most brightly. And it makes a big difference when you can live through your gifts and instead of trying to be another kind of leader that you maybe admire or you think is more effective. And also it's about understanding where you're coming from and where the people around you are coming from. When you understand their operating system is different than yours, so they see the world differently, care about different things, then you can communicate in a way that they can understand and that motivates them. And of course, this makes a difference with everyone you deal with, from venture capital to your team members to personal relationships. Now, the 3 centers of intelligence have to do with the brain. And most of us think that the brain is just the only center of intelligence, but actually it's composed of 3, at least 3 that I know of. So the main ones are the instinctual brain, which is having to do with our body or gut intelligence. And this is our oldest brain and located in the brainstem. And then we move on up to the limbic system, which is about passion and emotion and is related to the heart. And then the newest part of the brain, the most recent development in the brain, is called the neocortex, the executive function of the brain. And that's in the front of our heads. That's just a little bit of the brain background behind it. Each one of these centers has a functional use and then a misuse, or a way that we derail ourselves. Now, how many of you were in the heart center? You can put it in the chat if you'd like. And that would be 2, 3, or 4. I know someone that I had heard from related to type 2 most, but if you'd like, you can put these in the chat. So of course, the heart is where we get in touch with our empathy, with compassion for others and ourselves, and the way we connect to others authentic. And when we overuse these gifts, as types 2, 3, and 4 tend to do, we can either get into manipulation, playing roles, or oversensitivity. So again, it's about having clear use and clear access to that center of intelligence. Now, the next one is the head center. And I know there were several that were in this group, a lot of 6s that I talked to. So this one, of course, when we're planning our company and setting goals and putting out there what we want, this is a very important center of intelligence that we couldn't do it without, for analyzing, having insight, and planning what we want to put out there. But when we get stuck in this, when this is our dominant type, we can get into overanalyzing, projection, which is kind of worst case scenario, and over planning, getting stuck in the planning phase and not being able to execute. And then there's the body center. Did anyone relate to 8, 9, or 1? I know there were several of you that came up with 9 in your test results. I don't know if anyone related to this
Stephen,
as their most dominant.
Oh, I didn't mean to cut you off. I was gonna say, Stephen, how many did you see in the chat, or? I know he's writing in there.
Yeah, I'm not seeing my chat come up. So Stephen, you'll have to tell
Yeah.
me.
Sorry
'cause
about that. I was
can't see
accidentally
it.
muted.
That's fine. There we go. I was wondering.
There's a lot
you,
there's a
Tanya.
lot of twos, a lot of six, a lot of ones, ones, twos, six. Oh my god, a lot of variations.
Great.
891, 853, 123, 185, 196. There's a lot of variations from everybody. It's a
Okay.
diverse group of people.
Okay, well, that's what you would expect. Entrepreneurs can come in every single type. There's not one type that has a corner on it. So I just want to emphasize that most of all. We obviously need the heart, the passion to do what we do. We need the planning and insight and innovation with the head center. And then the body center, the 8, 9s, and 1s, those are the ones that get us into action. We have our steadfastness and our groundedness in the body center. And then the body types can misuse those, overuse them, and it becomes excessively active. Or the opposite, just stuck and not being able to get into action, or in reactivity. Now, each center has a motivation or an underlying focus of attention. And for the body centers, the 8, 9s, and 1s, it's about having agency, sovereignty, I think I wanted to say, of your life, being autonomous and in control. And then for the heart types, the 2, 3s, and 4s, it's about connection with others, gaining the approval of others. And so they can create an image to gain that approval and lose their authentic self, or we never lose it, but we lose track of who we really are when we get too much involved in creating an image. And then for the head types, the 5, 6s, and 7s, it's about creating safety and security and looking for certainty. So each one of these has a different focus of attention. And what we want to do is create our own inner power where we have balance between the three. We have access. No matter what our type, we have good integration and access to all three of those centers of intelligence. And then we're in presence and we're able to act in the moment. So this has to do with our own relationship with ourselves, as well as our relationship to other people in our lives. So if you're a 2, 3, or 4, it's do you approve of me is what the underlying, sometimes you're not even conscious of it. In fact, most of the time, you're not even conscious of it. Do you approve of me? Am I safe for those head types? And then the body types, am I in control? Do I have autonomy in this situation? And these focuses of attention create your paradigm, which is the way you view the world. It has to do with how you're raised, how you were socialized, your school, your parents. You bring all of these things in and they form a worldview. And every experience you have, everybody you meet, you look at them through this lens, which we find out is a very narrow lens called a paradigm. And this also creates our strengths that contribute to success And as we've talked about, when it's used excessively, it derails your success and hinders you. So now we're going to talk about the heart center of intelligence. And if you related mostly identifying with type 2, it's again about connection and people. And the gift for a 2 is really about giving. Giving to other people, sometimes knowing what others need before they even know themselves. And the 3s have this gift of really shining, of having radiance, and being able to bring the best out in a team. And they're very performance and results oriented. They appreciate a good structure and well laid out goals. So you might identify yourself with one of these heart types. And then the 4 brings deeper meaning and purpose, which more and more organizations are realizing are really the way to keep employees, team members, and also keep customers and create loyalty. Now the head types, the head center of intelligence. The 5s have this immense knowledge, this ability to learn in depth about many, many different things and then explain it in a way that people can understand. And again, they appreciate how systems fit and a common mission that everyone's going for. And the 6, which I know several of you identified with, they're all about creating problem-solving environments. They can see ahead and anticipate problems that might arise, which we all need a devil's advocate in our corner. And then bringing everybody in the team to be part of the solution. And they're all about creating team loyalty and trust. They're real team players. So the 7s, which I identify with most, they create very exciting and innovative ventures. So they're always coming up with ideas so the organization can take advantages of these new opportunities. And then with the body types, the 8 is all about making a big impact, creating something. They're called the challengers because they can show up and really, in their decisive leadership, can be challenging to people. And they can also really be for the underdog and take care of people that work for them or their family or friends and help others to take good action. And the 9s are the peacemakers. They're all about harmony and creating this environment with a collective mission that everybody can get behind. And they're really good at mediating. And then the 1s, they are the ones, they're called the perfectionists. So they have these high ideals about how the world should be or how an organization should be. And they are able to have this vision and inspire others to achieve that high quality. So that was a lot. Let's take a moment again and focus on the breath. And this time, connect in with feeling your breath go through your body, your belly center, and then connecting in with your heart and mind. And this is all about being present with clear thinking, non-reactivity, empowered over to your emotions, and in touch with your body sensations. And this is being present here and now is what this is all about. And when you can do this, you are being congruent. So self-awareness of the three centers intelligence, mind, body, and heart, allows you to say what you're thinking, express what you're feeling, and taking effective action. And all three of those match. And having conscious leadership, this is at the heart of it for you and your team. It's about being able to regulate your emotional intelligence, your emotional being self-responsibility for your actions, and self-aware, connected to that center where you have inner guidance. And when you can do this, then you express the gifts of your type. And as you can see, each one has a very special gift. So the heart centers, you can see, are in red, 2, 3, and 4. The head center is 5, 6, and 7. And then into action and inclusion and excellence from the body center of intelligence. Now you might be asking yourself or saying, boy, I could use all of those qualities, leadership qualities. And yes, a truly integrated person has access to every one of those qualities. But as you can see on this diagram, there are arrows that point to each one. I don't know if you can see my arrow. And there are what's called wings, the type on each side. If you're a 9, your wings are 8 and 1. And this is a dynamic system that shows you how you can expand your strengths through the wings and the arrows. So again, using the example of 9, the 9, now you can go either in stress or security, but the 9 typically, when under stress, can take on characteristics of the 6. Or you can also go into the 6 and get the beautiful gifts of the 6 as well, the insight and the planning. And then on the other side, the 3, the 9 can go into the 3 to get more results, to get into action in a more focused, goal-oriented way. And this is the way it is around the Enneagram. Each style can take advantage most with the types that are on each side, the wings or the arrow points. For instance, I'm a 7, and you can also get these through having other people on your team that are of these different types. As you can see, I had several different companies, and my partners tended to be 8s and 3s because those are the results-oriented, action-oriented types. And as a 7, I can come up with wonderful, innovative ideas and sometimes have a challenge getting them out into the world. So I surrounded myself with people that I naturally could lean on and also emulate so I could get more of what I wanted into the world. And this is all about, bottom line, integrating yourself. And it starts with self-awareness. And then it goes out being responsive to feedback, being self-responsible, self-motivating, and having that personal vision underlying integrity with everything. And then, of course, lifelong learning, which you're doing now, being involved in this program. So you have a choice. And when you are not self-aware, you really don't have a choice much about anything in your life. And the more self-aware you become, the more choice you have. And the choice is also how much you want to grow and change. When you discover things about yourself that are gifts, but also liabilities, you can choose to say, I'm not perfect, but I like the way I am and I'm okay. Or you can go all the way up into action and really go on a trajectory of self-growth and transformation. It's all up to you. And here's some ways. The Enneagram has been the system that I use most in my life for my own growth and transformation. And these are some of my teachers and the resources that I use. You have been given in the preparation instructions the links to the Enneagram in Business, and then my website. And again, my book, which I'm thrilled about. I hope you all get a copy of that. And that covers the 3 centers of intelligence as well as we went through today. So there we go. I'm open for questions.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Marie. I really appreciate that. That was a wonderful workshop. Can you tell me again the name of your book?
Emergence, a path to presence. And it's available if you go to my website, smmarieyoung.com. On the book page, my book, it'll be there, and there's a button to Amazon.
Perfect. I was looking on Amazon, and so perfect. Thank you so much.
Yes, just go to smmarieyoung.com/book, my book.
Thank you.
And there is the book cover right there. Thank you, Tanya.
Of course, of course. So,
we
questions
can
from the audience. Yeah. Oh, sorry.
Stop sharing at this point and have everybody come back on. Is that good?
Perfect. Perfect.
Okay.
So, and I know Stephen has some announcements. So, Stephen, did you want to make an announcement first, and then
Yep, I'm going to be placing the survey link into chat right now as people are getting their questions answered by Marie. So if you have just 2 minutes, I time myself. I put the survey into a timer. It's just a 2-minute survey. So if you just do that, we can get valuable feedback to Marie for her presentation and for the rec, so we can continue having these awesome workshops.
Perfect. Thank you, Stephen. Thank you. So were there any questions in the chat, Stephen, or?
If everybody wants to come on and show themselves, that would be great too.
Let's turn on our videos now. I think.
Turn on your videos.
Perfect.
No questions in the chat from what I see. Everybody was just putting their test results into the chat from lots of test results in the chat.
Oh, wonderful. Awesome. Really happy to see that. And if you have any questions, my email is in the preparation instructions, and feel free to email me and I can give you links, especially if you're not quite sure which type you identify most with. I can send you some links.
So, ask Marie, I have some questions. So if everybody has done the assessment and got their results back, are there anything, is there anything particular that they could ask you that could maybe illuminate things about themselves from here?
If they have any questions about a type in particular, or the 3 centers of intelligence, how that works. And
The reason I
I
asked,
know it's a big system to get a hold of, but if you just focus on those 3 centers in the beginning and where you fit in that, it will help.
I know that some of the team was talking with you about their results, and they had gotten a lot out of it. They said that I was talking to them afterwards, so I just didn't know if there was anything in particular that they should be looking at, or they should be I don't know. Crystal, you met, I think, and maybe Angela, and
well, there is a question, a good question, and from Philippe. How do you overcome conflicts in a team where people have different types? And this is a blessing and a challenge when you have a lot of different types. Really, a team needs members from all 3 centers of intelligence. Otherwise, you get represented in one type, and you might be really great at planning and innovation, but not so good at execution, kind of like I was. So I got different team members that could complement what my strengths were. And as far as overcoming conflicts, that's the reason for becoming self-aware and for learning these things. Because if you learn the different motivations, that connection and approval from the heart types, the autonomy and control that are so central to the body types, or the safety and security from the head types, then when you're in a conflict, you kind of know what's triggering the other people, and you can begin to speak to them in a way that meets trying to make the head types feel more certainty, safety, trying to assure the body types that yes, they are in control. They do have autonomy. They do have a say in the outcome. And the heart types, just want to know that connection, that even though there's conflict going on, you still approve of them. You are still connected to them. So Paul asked, do most people accurately pre-select their types? Well, It depends on how self-aware you are. Most of you, at least the ones that I talked to, were pretty self-aware in that your self-identified types, 3 types, at least 1 or 2 came up in the test results.
How many of you? Oh, sorry, I was going to say, maybe by show of hands, we could see how many of you had at least 2 of the types that you pre-predicted correctly. Oh, wow. Okay. So more people, less than 2. Wow. Okay.
Yeah, quite a few did.
Interesting.
And it doesn't mean anything if you didn't either. It just, self-awareness takes time to develop. We are so used to looking outwards and being focused on our goals and focused on what we're trying to accomplish, that sometimes the self-awareness gets left behind.
Right. So we have just a couple more minutes here. Is there anything, did we lose Esme?
No, I'm here.
Oh, there you are. I
I'm
thought I
right
lost you
here.
there for a second. So Esme, is there anything that you would like to leave us with? Anything that we should know moving forward as entrepreneurs, leaders, and people?
Well, I think for me, in my life, in my business, in my personal relationships and fulfillment, it's about coming home to myself and really getting to know myself, what my values are, what I really care about, and then bringing my gifts out into the world. And if you can do that for yourself, get to know and befriend yourself, it's wonderful, whatever system that you use. And you'll see whether you're using Myers-Briggs, DISC, Strength Finders, that they're all going to tell you something similar, because the truth is the truth.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Tanya,
Great advice. Yes.
can I ask a quick question to Esme before we end?
Yeah.
I was noticing, well, thank you for the workshop, first of all.
Oh,
And
you're welcome, Enzo.
yeah, I was noticing that maybe I don't have as much emotional intelligence as I thought, because my results are pretty accurate on the part what I like about being a 9 or being a 6, which are the two main ones. But the parts that are that say what's hard about being whatever type, they really don't sound like me. So there's either two options. Maybe that's just how it is, or I really don't know myself as well as I thought. So do you have any tips on that? Because now I'm kind of confused. And also there was one additional type 1, that I'm thinking that I also have some relations to that.
Well, I would thank you for that question, Enzo. I want to say that this is an exploration, and don't let the test sway you to anything. This is something that you can try on a type for as long as you want and see if it fits. And what you were saying, Enzo, about, you know, not really being in touch with how did you say it? Things that hinder me or are difficult. Sometimes those are the most difficult things for us to become self-aware of. And that is the challenge for all of us, is to be able to go in and be able to focus on our strengths mostly and the gifts we have, but also see what holds us back, because that going in and transforming those, or coming into self-acceptance of that, once you become more self-aware, you can kind of catch yourself in the act. But before you know about them, there's really no way you can be self-aware. And so let yourself off the hook with that. This is what this system is about, is becoming self-aware and learning these things and then catching yourself. And it can take a long, long time to catch things. I've been working on this over 25 years and I'm still catching myself at new things.
Well, thank you so much. That's really helpful, Esme.
And I have to say that I spent a long time thinking I was a type 6. And I went through, in the last few years, some really in-depth training in the Enneagram. And they said, my teachers, you're not a 6, you're a 7. And I always knew that I related more to 7 and not so much to 6, but somebody had typed me early on. So I thought that's what I was. So now I'm on a whole new growth trajectory of catching myself in type 7 stuff. And it's a whole new world for me. So it's never too late.
Never too late.
That's good to know. That's good to know. Makes me a little less worried. But thank you.
Yes, no worries on this. It's all for your own growth.
All right. Well, thank you again for the workshop. Thank you all for coming. The recording will be available by tomorrow in our excuse me, in our YouTube channel. please do complete the survey. I'm going to go ahead and end the workshop here, and I will see those of you who are coming to class in just a couple minutes, and the rest of you will see you at the next one. Take care.
Thank you.
Take care. Thanks. Hi, everyone. My name is Tanya Hertz, and I'm the director of the Regional Entrepreneurship Center, the Rec Innovation Lab at San Diego Miramar College. And I'd like to thank our partners at this time and give a special thanks to SDSU's Lavin Center, the SDSU Zip Launchpad. We'd like to thank the California Entrepreneurship Educators Conference. Also like to thank Harness, the Brink SBDC at USD, San Diego Unified Schools. We'd also like to thank School of Entrepreneurship and Technology, High Tech High, the Regional Advisory Committee, Alex Waters at the Jacobs Center, Connect All, 21IQ Labs, Startup Quest, Productified. I'd like to thank Course Key and Tech Coast Angels. Thank you to Village Up, City Heights Development Corporation, San Diego Angel Conference, Startup San Diego, SBDC, SCORE San Diego, We Are Kingdom, New Media Rights, San Diego Tech Hub, Origin 63, Ambrosio 15, OmniSync, Optima Office, Proven Recruiting, Craft Leadership, GS&L Consulting. Thank you to all of our partners. We couldn't do what we do without you. Thank you.